Welcome to the lecture of Python for data science. In this video, we will see some topics from the unit number 4, that is the data visualization. And in this particular video, we will see the concepts related to the visualizing the data. So in that, we will cover the different topics such as the histograms, the box plots. We will see its overview because we have already covered in the phase 1. We will see that how to plot the scatter plots, the what are the advanced scatter plots, then how to plot the time series, and what are the undirected and the directed graph. So this undirected and the directed graph, for that we will use the network X library. So we have already covered this network X library concept in the unit number 2. It is again repeating over here. So let's start with the notebook file. So this is my histogram code. You can see that this is my histogram. So I have used the function from the matplot library, that is plt.hist function. Now over here, I'm not making use of my data set. So I'm not importing any type of data set. So how can I generate my own data set? So for that, we have used the numpy's random function. So how the random function is working? Let's see over here that I have imported my numpy library, that is import numpy as np, where np is my areas. Now this numpy library has one random function. So the function name is random dot randn. It means from the random function I want to generate the random number. So the name is random, that is randn, where n stands for the number. So it generates the random number. How many random numbers you want to generate? You want to generate 10 different random numbers. So that 10 different random numbers list will be stored in my object called x, and I am printing the value of x. Then you can see over here that it displays my list and it contains my 10 different random numbers. So these random numbers can be the negative value, it can be the positive value. So as this function says that it generates the random number, it means every time when you run this code, then you can visualize that you are getting the different random numbers every time. So the output is not fixed for the random numbers. So over here, instead of importing the data set, what I have done, I have make use of the random numbers. So I am generating 10,000 different random numbers, and whatever the final result is, that final result I am multiplying it by the value 20. So whatever the final result is, that will be stored in my variable called x. So how many total numbers are generated? 10,000 total values are generated, and that values are like this. You can see over here. Over here it shows the triple dots. It means there are lots of values. So these are the starting values and these are some of the ending values. In between this three triple dots means in between there are lots of values. So it can't be shown over here. So for plotting the histogram, all other methods are same. So as I want to plot the histogram in stepwise, so I am using the hist type as step field. So like this, the histogram is generated. For the box plot also, we have drawn the box plot by importing the data set. So over here, we are not importing the data set directly. We are creating our own numbers by using the random function. So the main thing is that is plt.boxplot is used to draw the box plot. So this box plot content we have already covered in the phase 1. Now let's see that how to draw the scatter plots. We have already seen in the linear regression concept that how to plot the scatter plots. So over here, suppose I have two different values, that is x and y. So this x and y are my list which contains the values as 1 to 8. So for plotting the scatter plot, I am writing like this, that is plt.scatter. On the x-axis, I want the x values. On the y-axis, I want the y values, that is 1 to 8, like this. I am giving the marker as O, and I am giving the color as magenta, and I am writing plt.show. So this is my scatter plot. Scatter plot means wherever your data point is, at that point will be marked with some symbol. So you can see over here my x-axis value, the first x-axis value is 1 and then again 1. So you can see that at 1 1 my data point is marked, at again 2 2 my data point is marked, then for the value of 3, that is for x equals to 3, my value of y is also 3. So at 3 3 my point is marked. Now if you want some different color, then instead of M, you can write R, that R stands for the red color, then you can visualize the red color. This O means which symbol you want. So O means the circular symbol is shown over here to mark the data point. Instead of O, suppose I am using X over here, then let's see that what happens. Then you can see that your data point in the scatter plot is now marked with the cross symbol. And now over here in the marker, I am using the greater than sign. It means it will show the data points in my triangular manner. So this is how the scatter plot is drawn with the help of the function, that is plt.scatter. It means it is the part of the matplot library. So whatever code we have seen, that was the code of the simple scatter plot. You can also create the advanced scatter plot. So in this advanced scatter plot, you can predict the groups. So over here you can see that these are the scatter plots. It means your data point is marked with some symbol. So over here you can see that you have created the groups. You can see over here, this is the first group, this is the second group. So you can change the color of the group. So in this scatter plot, you can make the groups like this. Then comes the showing correlations within the advanced scatter plot. So showing correlations means through the scatter plot, I can draw a straight line. So this concept we have already seen in the concept of the linear regression, that through all the scatter plots, we are drawing one straight line which covers all different my data points. So you can also show the correlations. Correlation means such kind of straight line, that what is the relation between the different scatter plots. Now let's see, that is plotting time series. It means how to plot the time on the graph. What is the format of the date? The date format is like this. Suppose 12th of October 2020. So this particular 12-10-2020 is not a number. It is not a string. So what should be the format, so that we can plot that particular date on my graph? So it is not a number, it is not a string, then what it is? So for that particular date format, we are using a special format. That special format is called as the date time format. So over here what I am doing, I am importing my matplot library. I am importing, that is from date time, I am importing date time and the time delta. And over here, if you do not write the time delta, then also it's okay. So we are only importing the date time. We are making use of the cbond library, that is plt.style.use as a cbond. And I am creating one list, and my list name is dates. In that I am storing the different date. So my date is like this. So I am using the date time function, and as an argument, first of all I am passing the year, then I am passing the month, and then I am passing the date. That is 2020, that is your month and date. So like this, how many dates I have mentioned? I have mentioned over here 7 different dates. So this will be my x value in my graph. So this is my graph. You can see that how it is plotted. So on x-axis, it shows me a date like this. On the y-axis, it shows me the number. So my y-axis, I have made my list, that is y equals to from 0 to 6. So whatever the values are there in the x, the same value should be there in the y. Otherwise, the mismatch number error will be produced. So whatever the numbers are there in the x, how many dates are there? 7 different dates are there. And how many numbers are there in the y? The 7 different numbers are there, including 0. So this 7 and this 7 should match. So for plotting the dates on my graph, I am writing matplot library, that is plt dot plot underscore date function. For the scatter plot, we are using dot scatter. For the box plot, we are using dot box plot. For plotting the date on my graph, I am using plot underscore date function. So on the x-axis, I want the dates, and on the y-axis, I want this particular y variable. And I am writing plt dot show. Then this will be your output. So what is the use of this particular Seaborn library? Just comment it and just run your code. Then you can visualize. If you do restart kernel and the clear output, then you can visualize the difference. So over here now I am running this particular code. So it is importing the library, and this is my upload. You can see over here that this particular dates are getting overlapped on the x-axis, so the visualization is not proper. So I am making use of the Seaborn library. So it will give me the grids in the background, and you can visualize your dates on the x-axis easily, so that I'm making use of this particular Seaborn library, that is plot.style.use Seaborn. Now let's see the directed graph. It means how to plot the directed graph. We have already seen using the network X library that how to plot the undirected graph. Undirected graph means it does not have any directions. So this particular undirected graph concept that we have already seen in the unit number 2, that is the concept of the network X library. That is the concept of the network X library. Now we have to see that how to plot the directed graph. So let's see that. So for plotting the directed graph, so what is the directed graph? Directed graph means it will show you some directions, that in which direction you should move. So for that I am importing the network X library, that is the import network X as nx, that is my alias and my matplot library. For creating the directed graph, I am writing nx dot die graph. It means my directed graph. So my graph object is G, and in my G, I am adding the different ages. So my ages is like this, that is using the function add underscore ages underscore from. So I am writing a list in this particular function. So you can see over here, this my function starts with the rounded brackets and it completes at the rounded brackets. So in this particular rounded brackets, I am passing the list, that is into the square bracket. I am writing my first age, that is a comma b. My second age is a comma c. Again, these two ages are separated by comma. So like this, I have mentioned the different ages. And to draw a graph, I am writing nx dot draw underscore network x. Which graph you want to draw? My object G I want to draw, so I am writing G. And to show the graph, I am writing plt dot show. Then this output, you can see that it will show you some directions in the graph. So this is my output. So you can see over here that this is my directed graph. You can visualize it. I am zooming it again a little bit. So you can see over here that it shows me arrow like this. So from B to F, the arrow is there. So the direction is going from B to F and not from F to B. So this is what my directed graph is. The undirected graph means it will not show you such type of arrow sign. So you can visualize this all the ages, that is a comma b. So you can see that from a to b one age is there. So when you run this code multiple times, then you will get the different figure of the graph. But this all the list, that is the ages that you have mentioned, that will satisfy in all the graph. So you can visualize that over here also there will be some a to b. You can visualize over here, that is a to b. Then we have d to b also. Then you can visualize over here, that is you have d to b direction also. So that ages that all the directions will be satisfied. And what is this undirected graph? So this we have seen in the unit number 2, that is my network X library, so that all graph was undirected graph. So this is what all about is for the today's video lecture. So thank you for watching.